Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new session. So it's Thursday again. And so me and Ananya are back with a new session of current updates.
Hello, everyone.
Okay. So today we tried to do something new. We will try to do something new, that is. So today, since it's a Dalit History Month, so we wanted our session tonight to be a tribute to this Dalit History Month of April. So Ananya, shall we start?
Yes, we should.
Okay. All right. So today's current update session is a tribute to the Dalit History Month. So let's get started. So what is Dalit History Month? Dalit History Month is an annual observance as a way of remembering important people and events in the history of the Dalits or scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. It is celebrated in April all over the world by Ambedkarites, that is, followers of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. So today's session is a tribute to this, the Dalit History Month, and thus as a tribute to their struggles and hardships, we will talk about the contemporary Dalit writers of India and attempt to understand the significance of their voices, their positions, and their arguments in the context of the contemporary socio-political cultural conditions of India. All right, so let's see who are the contemporary writers we are going to talk about. So let's move on to our first writer. Yes.
Now, Gogu Shamal. So, Gogu Shamal is a Telugu language writer and women's activist and a prominent Dalit personality. Father may be an elephant and mother only a small basket, but is a collection of short stories by Gogu Shamal. This was part of her work on a project titled Dalit Women's Biographies, Movement Perspective of Dalit Feminism. This project is part of the Dalits and Minorities Initiative. Her earlier volume, Nala Podu, which is Black Dawn, is a collection of Telangana Madiga poetry and literature that has won critical acclaim in literary circles. Shamal is a prolific short story writer and regularly publishes in journals such as Bhumika, Prasthanam, Pratighatana, Mana Telangana, Prajakala Mandali, and Nigha. So this was about Gogu Shamal.
So Gogu Shyamala is a very contemporary writer, Dalit writer. So do look up her works, especially her work, Father may be an elephant and Mother only a small basket, but it's a very important collection of short stories by Gogu Shyamala. Do look up more of her works. Okay, so let's move on to the next writer. Yes, we have next Yashica Dutt. Yashica Dutt or Yashica Dutt Nidania is an Indian writer and freelance journalist who has written on topics including fashion, gender, identity, culture, and caste. Following the response to her 2016 blog post, today I am coming out as Dalit, that published documents of Dalit discrimination on Tumblr, and the book Coming Out as Dalit, which received a Sahitya Academy Award. So please note that this phrase, coming out, is generally associated with one's sexual orientation. For example, I came out, or I'm coming out as a lesbian, or a bisexual, or a pansexual. So generally, this phrase of coming out is associated with one's sexual orientation. But here, very intricately and deliberately, Yashika Dutt has used this phrase of coming out with her caste or with her identity or her position as a Dalit. Right. So, Coming Out as a Dalit is Yashika's book, which was published by Aleph Book Company, and it is her memoir about growing up in a Dalit family. In the book, she describes how she felt compelled to hide her caste and pretended to be of another caste, all along terrified of her true identity being found out. And that's why generally when people realizes that they're not heterosexual, maybe they're lesbians or gay or a trans woman, They generally try to hide or conceal their gendered or sexual identities from others. They pretend to be something which they are not. And here also she faced this quite a similar situation regarding her caste. Her decision to end the pretense of being an upper caste woman was triggered by a University of Hyderabad Dalit student Rohit Vemula's last letter, which was made public following his suicide. And this book, coming out as Dalit, details her journey of coming to terms with her true identity. And this book is a social commentary woven with personal experiences. As they truly say, the personal becomes political. She received the Sahitya Akademi Yuva Puraskar for the book in the English category for the year 2020. Phenomenal writer, phenomenal experiences, or maybe not so, and a phenomenal work. Please do look up more about her works, her writings, her life. I'm sure it's going to be very interesting. Okay, next. So before we move on, we would just like to give you a small reminder that from 28th April at Vallat, we're starting a certificate course on digital humanities. Dr. Ashijit Datta will be the resource person, and the fee is only ₹1,000. The number is there on the screen where you can contact further and get enrolled accordingly.
Now, Sujatha Gidla. Sujatha Gidla is an Indian American author. Gidla is known for her book Ants Among Elephants, An Untouchable Family and the Making of Modern India. So Sujatha Gidla was raised in the Christian Dalit family in Kakinada, a small town in present-day Andhra Pradesh. Ants Among Elephants is Gidla's first book and was published in 2017. It is a family memoir that chronicles the life of her uncle, K.G. Satyamurthy, a Maoist leader and the founder of a left-wing militant organization called the People's War Group, that is PWG. The book also described the personal history of her mother Manjula's life, both of which are juxtaposed against the peasant revolt and the formation of a new state in newly independent India. So Gidla classifies the book under the genre of literary non-fiction.
So another very interesting writer and her life, her work, Ants Among Elephants. Please try to remember these titles and the authors. They can be important. Okay, next. We will talk about a very popular writer and poet, Meena Kandasamy. I'm sure all of you know about her, know a lot about her already. So Ila Vanil Meena Kandasamy is an Indian poet, fiction writer, translator, and activist from Chennai, Tamil Nadu, India. So Meena Kandasamy has already published 2 collections of poetry, Touch and Miss Militancy. So from 2001 to 2002, she edited the Dalit, a bi-monthly alternative English magazine of the Dalit Media Network. She has also written many other works such as Mascara, My Lover Speaks of Rape, which won her prizes in various poetry competitions. And she has also written novels like The Gypsy Goddess, When I Hit You, or a portrait of the writer as a young wife, Exquisite Cadavers, etc. So please do look up her poetry collections, her novels, the magazines she has been associated with. She's also a phenomenal speaker. I have personally heard her speeches when she came to JNU. So she's a phenomenal speaker as well. So please do look up her poetry collections and her novels. Try to look up the various themes she has explored in her works. Right, next.
Now, Arvind Malagatti. Arvind Malagatti, born 1st May 1956, is a prominent Indian poet and writer in Kannada language. So he's the author of more than 40 books, which include poetry collections, short fiction collections, a novel, essay collections, critical works, and of course, folklore studies. He is the recipient of the prestigious Ambedkar Fellowship Award from the government of Karnataka. His Government Brahman, the first Dalit autobiography in Kannada, has won the Karnataka Sahitya Academy Award. Apart from these, The honorary award of Karnataka Sahitya Academy was conferred on him for his total contribution to Kannada literature. He is appointed as chairman for Kannada Sahitya Academy. Now, Karya is a novel by him, and Unending Stories is a collection of short stories by him. That was about Arvind Malagatti.
So again, a very contemporary writer, a very significant voice. So do look up. He has written actually many more works, many more poetry collections are there, many more essays, novels. So do look up about his works. Okay, so the next writer is Suraj Yengde, and I'm personally very interested about this personality. So Dr. Suraj Yengde is one of India's leading scholars and public intellectuals, named as one of the 25 most influential young Indian by GQ magazine and the most influential young Dalit by Z. Suraj is an author of the bestseller Caste Matters, and he actually came to JNU to talk about this book. And he was also the co-editor of award-winning anthology, The Radical in Ambedkar. Caste Matters was recently featured in the prestigious Best Non-Fiction Books of the Decade list by The Hindu. Caste Matters is being translated in 7 languages. And now specifically, I want to talk about this book, Caste Matters. It's a very important work. So what is this work about? So this is a work from Suraj Yengde, where he challenges deep-seated beliefs about caste and unpacks its many layers. Because caste is something which is practiced very widely in India across decades. So it's a layered experience. He describes his gut-wrenching experiences of growing up in a Dalit basti, a slum, the multiple humiliations suffered by Dalits on a daily basis, and their incredible resilience enabled by love and humor. So, he almost unpacks a phenomenological analysis here of a Dalit life. He talks about the lived experiences, right? As he brings to light the immovable glass ceiling that exists for Dalits, even in politics, bureaucracy, and judiciary, Yengde provides an unflinchingly honest account of divisions within the Dalit community itself, from their internal caste divisions to the conduct of elite Dalits and the tokenized forms of modern day untouchability, all operating under the inescapable influences of the Brahminical doctrines. This path-breaking book by Yengde reveals how caste crushes human creativity and is disturbingly similar to other forms of oppression, such as race, class, and gender. So, we have seen gender is a very crucial form of oppression and exploitation. Similarly, caste is also like that. At once a reflection on inequality and a call to arms, Caste Matters argues that until Dalits lay claim to power and Brahmins join hands against Brahminism to effect real transformation, caste will continue to matter. And hence its title, Caste Matters. Because no matter how progressive we claim to be in our society, somehow deep down this oppressions of caste will only end when not only the Dalits, but also the Brahmins, who are the perpetrators of Brahminism, they also need to come forward and end this. Then only we can claim to be very progressive. Then only we can claim to have a caste-free society. So that's what this text is about. It's a very important text. You can just download this book or buy this and read at least a few pages. It's a phenomenal work, Caste Matters by Suraj Yengde. So that was the last work for tonight. And so before we leave, we just want to remind you that from 28th at Vallat, we are starting our certificate course in digital humanities, where we will talk about decoding the digital human in digital humanities. The resource person is Dr. Ashijit Datta. He is an assistant professor at SRM University of Andhra Pradesh. And the fee of this course will be only ₹1,000. And the phone number is there on the screen where you can contact and get enrolled accordingly. All right. So shall we wrap up, Ananya?
Yes, thank you for bringing these information and anecdotes. You know, it just inspires us and motivates us to read more and more. So I really look forward to these sessions, every week. Thank you for these.
Yeah. All right. So I really hope you guys also like the session. And if you like the discussions, please hit the like button and share this with your friends as well. And we will see you again tomorrow at 9 p.m. Then till then, take care.